When a species vanished, it vanished forever. No exceptions. No loopholes. Only this time, everyone witnessed the biggest plot twist, the revival of dinosaurs. It seemed impossible, but a planet that has buried worlds we've never seen, creatures we've never imagined, and mysteries can also bring back dinosaurs while we just stand there with our jaws dropped. We've all heard the same story since you were kids. Dinosaurs lived millions of years ago. An asteroid wiped them out, and the only thing left behind are dry, petrified bones locked in stone. End of story. Case closed. Except the story isn't closed, not even close. Because over the last few years, discoveries have been popping up that make zero sense. Bones behaving like they're fresh, fossils that bend instead of shatter, structures that look way too much like blood cells and soft tissue, things that should not survive a single year in the open, let alone tens of millions. Scientists tried to explain it away, but the more they tested, the stranger it got. And when evidence starts speaking loudly, even the most established theories start to tremble. Ask any veteran paleontologist and they'll tell you, off the record, about the oddities. Most of these anomalies were never published, not because scientists were hiding anything sinister, but because they genuinely didn't know what to make of them. Anything that challenged the accepted timeline was usually chalked up to contamination, unusual conditions, or simple error, and then quietly shelved. But the pattern stayed. The reports kept coming, and every year more field notes described details that shouldn't exist in a world where dinosaurs died out 65 million years ago. Back in the year 2000, a T-Rex femur from Hell Creek, Montana, officially labeled as 68 million years old, was cracked open during routine transport. Scientists expected dry, mineralized rock. Instead, something else slid out. Stretchy vessels, soft fibers, red, rounded shapes that looked eerily like blood cells. The kind of stuff that shouldn't survive a single summer, let alone geological time. Dr. Mary Schweitzer, the paleontologist leading the investigation, published her findings. The scientific world jolted like someone had yanked the fire alarm.
The thing that was cool about it is we know very little, really, about these beasts that once walked on the surface of our planet. Things that I was seeing in the vessel channels of the bone were nucleated. They were translucent red with a dark center.
Because this wasn't the usual fossil story. This was tissue, soft, flexible, and fresh-looking enough to make researchers double-check if someone mixed up samples. But here's where things got intense. The more labs tested it, the weirder it looked. The bone wasn't acting like a 68-million-year-old relic. It was acting like something far younger. And once that thought entered the room, it refused to leave. But the world wasn't done dropping surprises. Fast forward to 2013. Same region, same geological formation. A Triceratops horn was dug up by electron microscopist Mark Armitage. He sliced into it expecting a brittle fossil. Instead, he found intact osteocytes, soft tissue, vessels that bent instead of splintering, material that reacted like it had been sitting underground for centuries, not millions of years.
See how well that's preserved. I mean, that doesn't speak for something that has been degrading or something that has just been in a non-pristine condition for 65, 70 million years. We would not begin to expect to see such enormous and elaborate detail. I mean, these structures are incredibly small. You know, this is our 20 micron bar here. See how small these structures are, still intact.
Once again, microscopes didn't lie. The images spoke for themselves, and the moment those results hit academic circles, tension skyrocketed. Labs retested, labs confirmed, and the horn still behaved like a young bone. By now, the pattern was undeniable. The ground was giving up secrets no one expected, and definitely not at this scale. But fossils weren't the only thing stirring, because the moment people started re-examining old discoveries, another wave rose. Sightings, eyewitness accounts, stories from people who claimed they saw something they couldn't explain. And one of the strangest came from a quiet Nevada town in 1993. A building contractor named Frank was digging utility lines near Lake Tahoe when his backhoe hit something unusual. A hollow pocket, and inside it were eggs. Not chicken eggs, not reptile eggs. Massive, thick-shelled, prehistoric-looking eggs. 5 of them, 3 broken, 2 intact. And in one of the broken ones, something moved.
What I saw inside of it changed my life for as long as I walked this planet. There were 5 large eggs 2 of which were crusted up shells, broken shells, 2 of which were intact, and a 3rd one was broken. That is the egg that contained a living animal.
Frank called his wife over. They photographed it. They watched it struggle, and they watched it go. But the story didn't end there. Frank and his wife didn't rush to TV networks or scientists. They told the one place they trusted to print strange stories. And once the photos hit the media, their quiet Nevada town transformed into a hunting ground for answers. And whether you believe the couple or not, one truth remained. They weren't the only ones claiming to see something impossible. Well, history held records of creatures that sounded a lot like the ones people were still reporting. And that's when it became clear. This couple was not the first to witness something like this. History had seen these creatures before. If you thought dinosaurs were locked in the pages of textbooks, think again, because the Earth wasn't finished showing its hand. It all started in 1903, deep in the frozen wilderness of Yukon. Hunters James Butler and Tom Lemore noticed something strange. The ground itself was trembling. Moose bolted through the forest like rockets. Then came the tracks. Massive. 18-inch claw marks dug deep into the soil. A trench carved by a dragging tail. Footprints as if a tank had rolled through the trees. The trail led to a ravine, the kind of place you wouldn't expect a living thing to leap over. Except they did. Writer Georges Dupuy, intrigued, brought along Father Lavenieux and 5 guides into the icy gorge. At dawn, the impossible revealed itself. A 50-foot beast, standing tall on 2 legs, horned snout, shaggy fur, and a scaled belly. Moved with power, speed, and purpose. Fired, but the creature barely flinched. And the roar? It echoed across the Yukon in a way that made every living thing reconsider its choices. Yeah, this was bad. Fast forward a decade to the swamps of Central Africa. In 1913, missionaries and explorers waded through the Likuala swamps when Baron Bohm spotted something enormous gliding through murky waters. Long-necked, massive back, curving like a living island. Locals spoke of a creature that could tip canoes, shake the riverbanks, and vanish into lagoons too deep to map.
Oh my God!
Newspapers in Europe went wild. Expeditions were secretly launched, photos were supposedly taken, journals vanished, but the whispers never died. The swamp had its guardian, and it wasn't a ghost. It was alive, and it had survived extinction. Then there was 1932, Congo, and explorer Ivan Sanderson navigating the Ubangi River. He froze as he spotted a massive figure feeding along the shore. Long neck, armored hide, tail broad enough to churn the river into frothing waves. Guides whispered names they had learned from legends. Mokele Mbembe. Sanderson documented everything from size to movements. Critics scoffed, but his sketches and measurements left a clear warning. This creature wasn't fiction, it was real, and it had survived in hiding in the shadows of the dense riverine forests. And here's the thing, you've just seen the historical evidence, but these accounts weren't limited to history. There are people who claim to have spotted similar creatures in our own time, and some of those sightings are coming up next. But before that, make sure you are subscribed to this channel and share your thoughts down below. It all started pretty low-key, buried somewhere on the internet. A video from 2001 popped up years later, taken deep in the jungle at some secret military base. The footage clearly showed something that looked like pterodactyls flying over the treetops, their wings cutting through the misty air. Military helicopters hovered around, almost like they were protecting something unbelievable. The video had vanished once before, and the fact that it got pulled just added to the mystery. Could this have been a hidden spot for prehistoric creatures? And if that's the case, what else is hiding in the shadows? Fast forward to 2020. In the Congo, a motion-triggered trail camera caught something that left everyone speechless. A creature that looked like a velociraptor gliding through the thick forest with an impressive grace. Its body was low to the ground, eyes shining, and muscles rippling with a fierce energy. This was no costume or CGI, it moved like it had been hiding out for the last 65 million years in the depths of the rainforest. And it wasn't just a one-time sighting. Other cameras picked up similar creatures in different spots, suggesting there's a whole population out there that's managed to avoid extinction. Across the ocean, in Florida, a woman was checking her backyard surveillance footage when she spotted something unusual, a quick blur that was definitely alive. To her shock, a baby dinosaur was darting across her lawn, weaving in and out of trees and fences. Who would have thought that a suburban neighborhood could have a creature that was supposed to be extinct for millions of years? But there it was, running around like it belonged there.
Oh my God, what is that?
And then there was the Italian farm. A tourist wandering through a quiet village definitely didn't expect a wild surprise, but that's exactly what went down. Little creatures that looked a bit like mini Compsognathus started darting out from the barns and fields, snatching at cameras, circling around, and testing their limits. They were small, quick, and surprisingly smart. It wasn't just random chaos. They were like a little team hiding in plain sight. The visitor couldn't shake the feeling that he had stumbled into a scene straight out of the past. But some encounters were darker. One time, a group of friends was walking home through some thick woods when they stumbled upon something they'll never forget. In a little clearing, there was a huge carcass just lying there. Nothing alive today looked anything like it. It had these long, powerful limbs and a jaw that could crush bones. Even in this, for me, it gave off this vibe that screamed T-Rex. No one really knows what they did next, but that image stuck with them. A reminder that just because something's extinct doesn't mean it's gone for good.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Nice!
So here we are, all around the world, and over the years it's hard to miss the pattern. Whether it's flying predators, jungle hunters, backyard sprinters, farm invaders, or massive bones, they all suggest the same chilling idea. Dinosaurs didn't really go extinct, they just went into hiding, adapted, and managed to stay under the radar of human detection. So what does it all mean? Are these sightings glimpses of surviving prehistoric populations, hoaxes, misidentified wildlife, or evidence of something humanity refuses to accept? The truth is, no one knows for sure, but that one thing is certain. The stories, the videos, the photographs, the eyewitness accounts, they all point to the same chilling question. If you liked this video, make sure you are subscribed to this channel, and don't forget to hit that like button.